The RTX 3070 release date just got delayed to one day after the RX 6000 series launch event, and new benchmarks were just released by NVIDIA for the 3070, but how is it going to compare to Big Navi and the heavily rumored RTX 3070 16GB variant? Let's talk about it. Before that, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss another video. Alright, so with the RTX 3070 release date being pushed back 2 weeks and now being only one day after the launch event for the RX 6000 series, or as some people like to call it, Big Navi, well, I thought it would be a good idea to compare some Big Navi GPUs, at least the ones that are going to be competing around the RTX 3070 to RTX 3080 range, to this RTX 3070, since some benchmarks were released by NVIDIA, and I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and throw in that rumored RTX 3070 16GB variant as well, so we can kind of try and figure out where all these GPUs are going to land, at least in my opinion, in terms of performance, and then we'll talk about the price as well. Now, going a little bit deeper into Big Navi, so there has been a lot of rumors going around that the biggest Big Navi is going to have 80 compute units, and if you do the math, when you take the 80 compute units plus the IPC increase plus the clock speed increase that they're going to get, well, you're going to get a Big Navi GPU that in the 6900 XT, on paper, if nothing goes wrong, you know, if it all scales correctly, which it might not, well, that GPU should be actually faster than an RTX 3090. Now, will it actually happen? I'm not entirely sure, so we're going to go ahead and compare what I believe is going to be called the RX 6800 XT. Now, whether or not that's going to be the GPU with 80 compute units or 56 to 64 compute units, I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that I'm almost certain at least that there's going to be a GPU somewhere between the RTX 3070 and 3080, and so I'm going to call it the 6800 XT, and that's what you're going to see on the graphs from AMD. Now, a couple more things before we go ahead and take a look at these benchmarks from NVIDIA. First of all, of course, since these benchmarks are from NVIDIA, they are going to be showing applications in these benchmarks that are going to be heavily favoring their new architecture, so keep that in mind. And on top of that, apparently the RTX 3070 launch date was pushed back because apparently they wanted to make more supply for the GPUs. Now, whether or not you believe that or you think it's some sort of, you know, marketing strategy, I'm not entirely sure, but we're just going to take them at their word for now. Now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at NVIDIA's benchmarks, where I have gone ahead and added in the 6800 XT and the 16GB RTX 3070, which you'll see in just a moment here that the 3070 16GB variant isn't going to look that much different than the 3070, at least in my opinion. Now, all of this information I got just based on leaks and rumors, so of course all this could end up changing by the time it comes out, but this is where I believe they're going to land. So taking a look at the first application here, I'm going to go ahead and start with Ashes at the Singularity, where you can see that the RTX 3070, at least according to them, is going to be a little bit faster than the 2080 Ti. Now, compared to the rumored 16GB RTX 3070, I don't think we'll really see much of a difference, and for the vast majority of these applications, I think that's going to be the case, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave a visual representation on the graph here, and I really won't be talking about those results too much, except for the few applications where I believe it's going to matter. Now, the more important one here is Big Navi, the 6800 XT, and here I believe that it's actually going to be around 15 to 20% faster. Now, moving on to Blender here, here's where the RTX 30 series has a large advantage because they have double the FP32 cores, and if there's no integer operations happening, well, then they can fully leverage those other FP32 cores, leading to an enormous uplift in terms of workstation performance. Now, when we compare that to the 6800 XT, I think here you'll see that it's going to be probably a little bit closer to the 2080 Ti, maybe around 5% faster. Now, moving over to Borderlands 3, here's an application that's going to be more representative of the vast majority of games because it's not going to heavily favor the new architecture from NVIDIA, and here you can see that the 3070 is a little bit slower than the 2080 Ti, and here once again I think that the 6800 XT is going to end up being around 15 to 20% faster. Now, here's where things get a little bit more interesting because this is the first ray tracing benchmark, and here they show that the RTX 3070 is roughly on par with the 2080 Ti, but just a tad slower, and you would expect it to be much faster in ray tracing because they did say that the RT cores were twice as efficient or twice as fast, can't remember which, but you got to remember that they actually packed in half the amount of RT cores, so yes, they might be twice as fast, but if you put half of them in there, well, it's not going to make much of a difference. Now, when we go ahead and compare that to the 6800 XT, here I think you're going to have two scenarios. One where they don't have DirectML working, which is going to be their competitor to DLSS, because I'm pretty sure that they ran this benchmark with DLSS, and if that's the case, without DirectML working, I believe the 6800 XT will probably be a little bit closer to the 2070 in terms of performance. However, if they do get DirectML working, I think you'll see performance that's roughly 5% slower than the 2080 Ti, because although I don't know for sure where their ray tracing performance is going to land for the big Navi GPUs, I think it's going to be just a little bit worse than NVIDIA, but not too much. Now moving over to Doom Eternal, here's an application that scales very heavily with core count, and so here we can see that the 3070 is a little bit faster than the 2080 Ti, and here I believe you'll see that the 6800 XT is probably going to be around 20 to 25% faster here because of that good scaling, and you have the fact that this 6800 XT is probably going to come packed with 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and that could make a slight performance difference. Now taking a look at the 3070 16 gigabyte variant in Doom Eternal, we can see that it's probably going to end up being, roughly 5 to 10% faster in this application because they might pack a few more cores on that GPU, and even if they don't, I think the extra VRAM could lead to slightly better performance in this specific title. Now taking a look at TimeSpy Extreme, we can see that the 3070 in this application is just a little bit slower than the 2080 Ti. If we compare that to the RX 6800 XT, I think you'll see here that the 6800 XT is going to be 20 to 25% faster once again because TimeSpy does actually scale pretty well with core count. And then finally, we have another RTX title, Wolfenstein Youngblood, where here I think we're going to have another similar situation where, yes, the 3070 is going to be a little bit faster than everything, and then the 6800 XT is going to come in a little bit below the 2070 with no DirectML, but if they do get DirectML working, again, just probably about 5% slower than a 2080 Ti. So yeah, overall, just to wrap everything up, I think in general, in the majority of games, the 6800 XT will be significantly faster than the 3070, roughly between 15 to 25% depending on the application. However, in games that use ray tracing, you're probably going to see, again, it very much depends on if they get DirectML working, at least I believe that's what it's called, their competitor to DLSS. If they don't, it's going to be significantly slower in those applications. If they do, it's only going to probably be a little bit slower. Maybe it'll be 10% slower, maybe it'll be 15% slower, but I don't expect it to be significantly slower in ray tracing because I think AMD is going to have at least decent ray tracing performance out of the gate. Now, when we take a look at the rumored RTX 3070 16 gigabyte version, I think here we're going to see overall that it's going to be pretty much identical to the 3070 in terms of performance, with the exception of those few applications that very heavily are able to utilize the core count, because I think there will be an ever so slight increase in the core count on this GPU. Maybe not, but that's just what I believe. And then those applications that do scale with the extra memory, you'll definitely see a small improvement in performance. And just overall, this GPU is going to, over time, just age a lot better. But all that doesn't matter if they're all bad prices. And I think overall, the 6800 XT, when it does launch, is probably going to end up being the best purchase. Because yes, I do expect NVIDIA to have a small lead in ray tracing performance. Maybe their drivers will be a little bit better. And on top of that, yes, they'll probably have more consistent DLSS working in more games. But I think overall, for the life of the GPU, you're going to be best off buying 6800 XT because I've heard from in various rumors that the 6800 XT, or at least whatever that GPU is going to be called, it's going to be between a 3070 and 3080. Maybe it's even going to be called the 6900 XT. Well, that GPU is apparently going to be around $550 with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. And so, for that price, you're talking about a GPU that's only $50 more than the RTX 3070, and on average, it's just going to pack a whole lot more performance, and it's going to give you double the amount of VRAM. So by the time ray tracing really kicks off, even if NVIDIA does have a slight advantage in that, I don't think it's going to matter, and I think the 16 gigabyte variant from NVIDIA still won't be good enough to sway people, because you're going to be talking about a GPU that's going to have to be between the price of $580 to $600 for them to add more VRAM, unless they decide to drop prices, which I highly doubt. And at that price, are you really going to spend $50 more in NVIDIA to basically overall get less performance with the same amount of VRAM? To me, I think that doesn't really make sense, though NVIDIA's marketing is really, really great. So I think that, to be honest with you guys, even if AMD is significantly faster, if NVIDIA gives you a card with the same amount of VRAM, even for more money, and it's slower, I think the majority of people are still going to buy it. But hey, that's just what I think. What do you think about the RTX 3070 delays, and how do you think it'll stack up against Big Navi? I'd love to see what you have to say in the comments below, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to drop a like. Every time you do so, NVIDIA and Intel drop prices. Also, if you want to see more, click here. You won't be disappointed.